Got an APB on you.
Oh, was I gone that long?
Long enough, judging from that little bag of booty you got there.
And I didn't even have to set foot out of the hotel. Robert, there is the most fantastic beauty parlor right on the mezzanine. They have all sorts of things that I never even heard of.
Any stock left for the other customers?
It's all in a very good course. Some of these skin creams are sensational.
Judging from these prices, they'd want to work miracles.
Oh, they probably do. In fact, I'll prove it to you. Just hold it right there.
For what?
I'm going to put some of this on you.
Oh, no, you don't. Now, listen, I have a meeting with the Manhattan police today, and I refuse to walk in there smelling like a geranium.
Geraniums don't smell.
Oh.
But lavender does. And I think you'd be just divine with lavender cream.
Oh, I was hoping you'd come here first.
Ooh, like a homing pigeon, that's me.
How was Albany?
I missed you, that's how Albany was. Rose, I've made up my mind about something. No, change that. I've made up our minds about something. We're gonna stop fooling around, we're gonna plan to get married, and I mean today. Now,
You know
I don't
what?
want to
I
hear
had
another...
the same idea.
You what?
Well, hey, you two sure seem happy.
Well, we are off to Mount Alpine.
Oh.
And we thought that we would grab a couple of box lunches to have on the way.
Okay. And that means we're going to be eating and driving at the same time.
That sounds like two people in a hurry to me.
What have you got?
Well,
Anything in
let's see,
particular that's
ham and
good?
cheese, roast beef, tuna salad. What's it going to be?
Great.
All of them?
Oh, whatever you think is best.
Just as long as it's fast, right?
Rose has been making a lot of quick decisions today, and all of them terrific.
Excuse me.
Yes, sir.
I just arrived, and I wondered if you could help me. I have a question about the lift tickets. Are they by the day?
Day and half day. All the tickets are good on all the runs, except on Killer Run, that is.
Yes, I've heard about Killer Run.
I think everybody in the ski world has.
But you say that Killer Run is not included in these tickets.
No, Killer Run is for advanced skiers only. It's a chair lift, and it requires a separate lift ticket.
Fine. Fine, I'll take 3 half-day tickets for 3 people.
Okay, on the regular runs?
No, on Killer Run. There you go.
Here we are. 3 half days for Killer Run for 3 persons.
Thank you.
I should remind you the last run is about 5 in the afternoon, and there is no night skiing.
Oh, why not?
You'll find out when you make your first descent. There's a very large crevasse about halfway down.
Yes, I was told about that, but tell me, isn't it marked?
Oh, yes, there are warning flags plainly visible during the daytime. When the sun goes down, they're difficult to see. We can't take the risk, so Killer Run closes at 5.
Yeah, I can understand why now that you've told me about that crevasse.
The crevasse is huge. You and your friends are experienced skiers, aren't you?
Oh, very experienced.
Well, that's good. Killer Run can be dangerous even in the daytime, except for the most advanced skiers. We like to make people understand that before they attempt it.
Oh, it's a very wise precaution, but my friends and I have skied all over the world. I think that Killer Run will do just fine. Thank you.
I still can't believe this is happening. I have never won anything in my entire life, and now to win this marvelous ski trip is like a dream come true.
I can imagine. Yeah, and as if that weren't enough, I then got 5 days off with pay. I mean, you talk about luck. Ooh.
Here you go. 3 sandwiches and coffee to go.
Our doll.
Thank you. Know that myself.
You two have a great time, will ya?
Great time. Are you kidding? Rose, this is going to be one vacation we will never forget.
Bye-bye. Drive safely.
Bye, Jake.
Bye. Did you notice? They are a perfect example of what I'm talking about.
What's that?
2 people who can love each other and deal with each other even under the most difficult circumstances.
Are we in difficult circumstances?
Not according to me. How about you?
Not in the least.
Well, What do you say? We're going to get married, and I mean soon.
Aye, the sooner the better. But I don't want one of those quickie ceremonies down at City Hall.
Honey, if you will marry me soon, I will rent Yankee Stadium anywhere you want.
Just as long as it's a real ceremony.
And to cover all the bases, we'll have a rabbi and a priest. How's that?
Great, one for each of us. That ought to cover it.
Okay, we'll set it up today.
Great.
I've got one appointment, and then I'll set it up.
Okay, well, how long's your appointment?
Well, actually, it's here. Rick Weber called me this morning in Albany. He said it was urgent that we talk, so we agreed to talk here.
Oh, yeah, I think I know what it's about, but I'll let him tell you. In the meantime, I'll call Martha and make sure she can take over here, and then I'll call a priest and try to get together with you today.
And I'll call Rabbi and tell him we want to talk to him today.
Okay.
I guess that covers it.
It does beautifully.
Rose?
Yes.
You as happy as I am.
Happier.
I think I'm going to enjoy being a married man.
Darling,
No, I smell awful.
this is youth cream. You should see your face. Your wrinkles are disappearing already.
Really? Let's see how it works on yours. Yeah?
I don't have any wrinkles.
Really?
No, I don't. But as a matter of fact, if we keep using this, you know, by the time we go to dinner tonight, before we go to the theater, that we'll look so young they won't even serve as a cocktail.
Wait. Back up a little bit. What's this about the dinner and theater?
Oh, didn't I tell you? I've made a few plans.
Oh, well, that's nice. I hope you've left space in your plans for me to get out and work. I mean, that is, after all, the reason we're in New York.
One reason. I have a few others in mind.
Like what?
Well,
Come on.
one of the creams I got is a night cream.
Really?
Very special night.
Oh, well, what's in it? No, I don't think I really want to know. Look, come on, up.
Oh, right. I guess you've been a pretty good sport.
Yeah, well, what I need at this point in time is a shower.
Oh, I think I bought something for that, too.
Save it. I have a meeting with the New York police, and I'm late as it is.
Dr. Campbell, right?
Yeah, one of Campbell's former patients. Hopefully this guy can shed some light on the disappearing doctor.
I have to admit, Rick and I have had our disagreements in the past, sometimes about policy, sometimes about a diagnosis, but I've never found him to be dishonest.
No, I don't think anyone has.
Actually, our main disagreement has always been that I felt he was giving too much of himself.
Yes, I've thought that myself often. I mean, Rick is not the kind of a man to ask for a bribe, much less take one.
Never.
You know, if you really want my honest opinion, there is something a little tricky about Brock. I mean, I think he was really a born wheeler-dealer.
Yes, I've felt the same way.
You know, I hate to say anything to anyone but you, Steve, but I have honestly never trusted Brock.
I do.
Oh, Bobby, I'm sorry. I didn't know you were standing there.
Obviously.
How are you, Bobby?
Steve, let's just forget the polite chit-chat, all right? I heard you talking about my husband.
Bobby, I'm really sorry. I mean that.
I'm sure you do. Frankly, I'm not surprised the whole hospital's been talking about it.
That shouldn't surprise you either.
It doesn't. I just wish people would get their facts straight.
Well, I think everybody wants to. I know I do.
So do I, but just what facts are you talking about?
Simply that my husband's employee did something entirely on her own. All he did was make it public. He didn't offer Rick Weber a bribe, and he certainly didn't pay him one.
I never thought he did.
No, nor did I.
I guess I get it in the store, get paper. Naturally, people around here are forced to take sides, and naturally, everybody in the hospital is going to take Rick's side.
Well, people also try to be fair, Bobby.
I hope so, because Brock is not a bad man.
He's lucky to have your loyalty.
Of course he has that. And I just think this whole thing is a very unfortunate misunderstanding, and I hope it'll get straightened out right away.
We all hope that. Bobby, I wonder if you'd spare a few more moments of your time. Can we sit over here at this table?
Very well.
Please. Thank you. I'll get right to the point, if I may. I'm sure Audrey joins me in apologizing for discussing your husband within your hearing.
Yes, of course I do.
It's okay. Everybody else is talking about it.
Yes, and that's precisely why I wanted to continue this conversation. This is not the first time, you know, that personalities in the hospital have become involved in conflicts outside.
Oh, far from it.
But that is the most important thing to me, that these conflicts do not affect the interrelationships within the hospital. We have two lives, really. One here in the hospital, another away from the hospital, but I've always insisted that all of us try to not confuse the two.
Do you think that's what I'm doing?
No, I'm just telling you that I will not allow the problem between your husband and Rick Weber to affect performance here. Now, I know both you and Rick very well. Well enough that I'm sure you won't allow outside matters to change your working relationship.
I don't want it to.
And neither does Rick, I'm sure.
Rick's a professional, just as you are, Bobby. Now, may I count on you to bear that in mind?
Definitely.
That's all that needs to be said then.
Except for maybe one thing.
Oh, what's that?
Until all of this gets straightened out, I just wish people wouldn't be so quick to pass judgment on the man that I am married to. Excuse me.
Hope I didn't keep you waiting, but I have 3 patients in CICU, one of which had a myocardial infarction during the night.
Did he make it through?
Fortunately, we didn't get him stabilized till like 5 this morning, but I don't want to waste any more time on that. When you were in Albany, by any chance, did you see the Port Charles papers?
Well, actually not. I was running around most of the time. As a matter of fact, when you called, I was on my way out the door.
Take a look. That's the second story.
Rick. I don't know what to say. This is an outrage.
Yeah, that's what I felt. One of the things I felt.
You know, a lot of this is my fault. I should have found out that ARB is one of Brock's companies.
Well, none of us ever dreamed that Brock would be connected with Ginny.
I'm so stunned. I don't know where to begin. What did Ginny Blake say to the police? Surely they called her in after this appeared in print.
Oh, they called her after the first story, but she has mysteriously disappeared.
Where did she go?
Well, Robert thinks that she's gone back to New York City.
I'll bet Brock knows where she is.
Well, Brock claims that she went away. She needed the rest, and that's all he knows.
Yeah.
Robert's in New York right now on other business, but he is trying to locate her
Well,
for
you know,
us.
if she doesn't turn up, that's to your advantage. I mean, there's just no case against you without her.
Yes, however, the press, as Robert pointed out, has tried and convicted me. I gotta have her back here to prove my innocence.
Matter of fact, you're right.
I mean, if I just don't, if I go along with this, then Brock has won. Brock and Ginny Blake. That I won't tolerate. You blame me?
Blame you, hell. I'm gonna help you, Rick.
Well, I thought you'd say that.
You bet I say it. It's just right now I just don't quite know what to do. I mean, trying to think fast, I think maybe the best thing to do is just to sit tight and wait and see what Robert Scorpio comes up with in New York.
Well, he's gonna call us the second he finds out anything.
Well, let's hope he does. And when he gets back from New York, we'll consult together.
All right, in the meantime, what do we do?
You know, there is one course open to you. I don't suggest you take action on it, though.
Oh, great. What is it?
You could sue Jackie Templeton and her paper for libel.
The last thing in the world I want to do is go into court on
And I
this.
can understand that, which is why I'm against it. But being your lawyer, I feel I'm obliged to at least let you know of the option.
Jake, that would put Mike right in the center of it. It's bad enough that I may have to reveal the fact that Ginny is claiming to be his mother. I just may not be able to avoid this.
I agree. Any kind of trial, any kind of lawsuit would make it worse for Mike. But that's not the only reason I don't like it.
Why else?
Their best defense against your libel suit would be the truth. Now, by that I mean, if they could just prove that you accepted the money, no matter what the reason, that's a strong defense for them.
I did accept it, Jake. She kept saying that it was for Mike's education. I said I didn't want it. I tried to refuse it, but she talked me into accepting it.
And, of course, they would swear that it wasn't for Mike's education, but that it was a bribe.
So, in other words, it's my word against her word.
No. In court, it would be a little more than that. It's whom the jury would believe, you or Mike's mother.
A mother who gave up her son, but she wanted at least to have him have some money for an education. Great, that doesn't fly very well, does it?
Shall I rest my case?
No, let's just drop the libel suit. Hope that Robert comes up with something in New York.
How long will Robert be gone?
A couple days, maybe less.
Well, then let's just sit tight, Rick. And it wouldn't hurt to hope a little.
I gotta get back to the hospital. Thanks, I thought you'd help me. It just makes me feel a little better if I hear you say it.
You're gonna hear more, Rick, believe me.
Thanks.
Rose?
Hi, Rick. Well, Martha's in the kitchen, so we can leave any time. When are we supposed to see the rabbi?
Whoa, we can just make it.
Oh, good. I don't want to be late.
Yeah, well, let's hurry up before you change your mind.
Now, do I look like a woman who's about to change her mind?
You look like a woman that I love.
You can forget about my changing my mind. Not this time.
Oh, yeah? You sure?
I'm as sure as God made little green apples. We're doing the right thing, and I even know why.
Why?
Because I love you, and I want to be your wife.
Well, let's get going.
Bye, Martha. Thanks.
Bye, Martha.
Now, what can I do for you?
Well, first, thanks for seeing us on such short notice, Rabbi.
I'm glad to be of help.
And to answer your question, we want to get married.
Well, I'm delighted to hear it. Congratulations.
We're here to ask you to do the ceremony.
Well, I always like to take a few hours with couples for counseling before a date is set. Does that suit you?
Oh, I think that'd be all right, Rabbi.
And barring any problems that may surface during our chats, I'd be happy to perform the service.
We do want to get married right away, at least as soon as the arrangements can be made. Of course, we'll adjust our schedule to suit you, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, fine. Now, as to the service itself, you are both Jewish, I assume.
No, Rabbi, I'm a Catholic.
But I'm Jewish.
Well, may I ask, Rose, are you willing to convert to Judaism?
I didn't know that I had to.
Well, we've discussed this, Rabbi, and it's perfectly all right with me if Rose chooses not to convert. In fact, we both decided to maintain our traditions. I'm going to remain a Jew, and Rose is going to continue to be a Roman Catholic.
Now, that's, of course, is your decision to make, but I have to say that I won't be able to marry you.
I'm a little confused. I thought because you were connected with the conservative synagogue that there would be no problem.
I'm sorry, Jake, excuse me, but I don't understand. What do you mean, conservative synagogue?
Would you like to explain it, Rabbi?
Please, go right ahead.
I just hope I get it all right. In Judaism, there are three segments, Rose. There's the Orthodox segment, like Uncle Isaac.
Mm-hmm.
The Orthodox Jews adhere very strictly to biblical law. Then there's the conservative segment, which allows for a more freer interpretation of the laws.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, there is the Reformed segment. A Reformed Jew adheres to the traditions, but does not necessarily adhere to the biblical laws.
I see.
Is that about right?
Well, that's entirely correct. I should add, however, that that's no guarantee that all Reform rabbis would agree to perform the ceremony.
You're saying that there are some that are more strict than others?
Well, it's really a decision for the individual rabbi. Now, in my case, as much as I'd like to help you two people, I cannot marry you.
Because this is a conservative synagogue.
Well, because as I myself interpret my conservative traditions, I cannot perform a marriage ceremony unless both participants are Jewish. I simply don't have the authority over non-Jews according to the laws of Moses. I'm really sorry, but I must follow the law as I see it.
Oh, I understand. I'm concerned about you, though, Jake. Your Uncle Isaac is not going to approve at all if we're not married with a religious ceremony.
Don't worry about that. Uncle Isaac is not going to approve either way.
True. Mm-hmm.
We're just going to have to find somebody to do the ceremony. I'm sorry, Rabbi, if we've wasted your time.
Oh, no, not at all. I'm always pleased when two people decide to enter into matrimony. I wish you both the very best.
Thank you.
Shalom.
Go with God.
Sorry if I move a little strangely. My wife and I just returned from our honeymoon in the Caribbean. Afraid I got a beaut of a sunburn.
Well, congratulations on your marriage. Commissioner Scorpio and I will try not to take up too much of your time.
You're the police commissioner?
Of Port Charles, yes.
I see. I'm sorry, I am terrible with names. You said your name was Detective...
Lieutenant James, Mr. Wilton, New York PD.
Now, on the telephone, you said you wanted to talk about Dr. Campbell.
That's correct, yes. Have you seen him lately?
Oh, Lord, no. Not in years.
But you were a patient of his?
A very long time ago, yes.
How long ago, Mr. Wilton?
Maybe 10 years. I was in school in Scotland at the time. There was a lot of pressure on me, especially being an exchange student. I had a breakdown. Dr. Campbell got me through it.
And you haven't heard from him or communicated with him since?
Never. That'd be more than 10 years.
What about your wife? Was she also a patient of his?
Dottie, no, she never even met him.
And you'd know, wouldn't you? I mean, if she had heard from him recently.
Of course I'd know. I can guarantee she knows nothing about him. Now, may I ask a question?
Go right ahead.
What is all of this about? I mean, is Dr. Campbell in some kind of trouble or something? And where do I fit into this?
Well, we're not sure, Mr. Wilton. In fact, Commissioner Scorpio and I, we hope that you could tell us the answer. The fact is, Dr. Campbell's tape recorder was found at the door of one of our precincts. There was a letter attached, a cryptic letter, leading us to you.
Letter? About me? What did it say?
Well, it doesn't implicate you in any wrongdoing, Mr. Wilton, but it did indicate that you may have had some recent communication with Dr. Campbell.
That's ridiculous. I just told you I haven't seen him in years.
You haven't talked to him either, is that correct?
I've had no contact with him whatsoever. I'm certain he can confirm that.
Dr. Campbell's missing.
Oh.
We have reason to believe that he was in the New York area recently, but he's disappeared.
But does he still live abroad?
He does, but he's not been in touch with any of his associates because we've checked.
Can we get back to the letter with the tape recorder? Is there anyone you can think of who you might know who might have written it?
Not a soul. I can't imagine why my name was even mentioned.
Tell you what, I'll leave you my card. And if you hear from someone, anyone at all, regarding this matter, would you give me a call?
Of course I will. I'm sorry I can't be of more help to you now. You know, thinking about this, I'm really not surprised.
Surprised in what way?
About anything you've told me. I mean, after all, Dr. Campbell was a shrink. He must have dealt with some real weirdos. It's hard to say what anyone could have done to him.
Can I help you?
Yes, I would appreciate that. I believe you have a couple of guests scheduled to arrive today, Mr. and Mrs. Grant Andrews.
Let me just see if they have a reservation. Yes, here they are. We've reserved room 702 for them. They should be arriving shortly, in fact.
Good. Will you give this to them, please?
Of course. Will there be anything else?
No. Just make sure that they get that.
Hello, Mount Alpine. Yes, all the ski lifts are operating. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. May I help you?
We're counting on that. I believe that you've got a
Yeah.
reservation for us, Mr. and Mrs. Grant Andrews.
Yes, we've been expecting you. We've reserved room 702 for you. It's a corner room with a magnificent view of the mountains.
Oh, that sounds wonderful.
If you'll just sign the register, please.
I'll be happy to. Could you tell me, what do we do about our skis now? Can we just leave them down here?
Yes, the bellhop will put them in the storeroom for you. Franz?
Terrific. There you go.
Oh, and I have a message for you.
A message? What's this all about? Let's see. Holy smokes. Can you believe this? 3 half-day tickets for us on Killer Run.
Well, that's great. It must be part of my prize, I guess.
Yeah, they sure thought of everything, didn't they?
I can't believe this, Grant. Let's get going. I can't wait to get on slopes.
I can't wait either. Let's get going.
Bye.
Enjoy your stay.
Thank you. We certainly will. He's leading the way.
Hurry.